Pro wrestling action and bring on the host. Here is Mark Hoke.
Good morning, Las Vegas. What's going on? Welcome to the Mark Hoke Show here on KDAWN 101.5 FM, the talk of Las Vegas. Very happy to have you joining us here on a Valentine's Day weekend Sunday morning. I'm sure all you wonderful, romantic, crazy kids out there had your absolute fill of things for the last 2 days. Trust me, I saw you. I did not enjoy it, but thanks for coming along for us. We do appreciate it. Let's get the gang in here as we get ready to bring you the best in pro wrestling news and entertainment. And I've got just three awesome guys on the board with me today. Let's bring in the first one. This man probably had to suffer through Super Bowl because his poor Dallas Cowboys not there, and my Eagles triumphant. Stu Myrick from Sports Guys Talking Wrestling. I hope you enjoyed the beatdown.
Eagles suck.
Oh, that team did not suck.
I know. Congratulations to Philly. And look, hey, I say that I have friends that played for the Eagles back in the day, and I am a long-suffering Cowboys fan, which means I am, resigned to the fact that they will not make it to the Super Bowl as long as Jerry Jones is still GM. So, hey, it's okay. It was surprising how well they handled Kansas City, or should I say how poorly Kansas City played. So.
Oh, there's a pot shot right there.
What?
Well, we
did fine. They won,
Well, we have a guy that was actually at the game from adfreeshows.com. Coach Rosey, Josh Rosenbaum. Coach, what's going on, brother?
It's been a wild couple weeks. Stu, I'm sorry about the Eagles, but being at the game to see those Philadelphia fans win a Super Bowl, you would have thought that God came back to earth. There was tears, there was hugging, there was random acts of romance in the crowd.
Whoa.
Those Eagles fans.
Well, it is New Orleans, so hey.
Yeah, it was wild. But congratulations to the Eagles. The first half was great. The second half was kind of dull, but the experience was awesome.
I found nothing dull about that second half. Nothing at all. It was beautiful and sexy. And God, I can understand why people were making love in the stands. Guy who probably didn't enjoy the game that much either. Let's get him in here from the Wrestling Revolver. Trust and Phil Stamper, everybody.
I wondered how long it would take you to start in on Stu, and 10 seconds.
I know.
It was perfect.
Man, didn't even. By the way, Coach Rosey, best meal you had in New Orleans?
It's a place called Mambo's. I had this Cajun fettuccine Alfredo with shrimp, crawfish, alligator. It was amazing. My son and I actually went back to that restaurant twice. It was so good.
I love New Orleans. That was my very first Super Bowl week to work as a radio host was New Orleans, Super Bowl 47, Ravens Niners, and I just love New Orleans. It was so wonderful.
Well, one unpopular opinion is beignets not so good. Give me a good old American apple fritter or donut. Those beignets are for the birds.
Beignets are a little overrated.
I like a good beignet though. I do like a good beignet.
They're good. They're just not. It's not like the end all be all. Like I can go down, up the street and go get Round Rock donuts. So
Yeah, there you go.
Good.
Yeah, we got Randy's Donuts here now. We got a ton of pink boxes all over the place.
I've been to the pink box at the Plaza in Las Vegas. It's good.
They're pretty impressive.
No Round Rock donuts, but it's good.
All right, fair enough. But anything French is, always questionable. So you got to be careful on that. But, speaking of New Orleans, by the way, guys, since you mentioned it, just to throw it out there real fast, apparently WWE is going to be sending WrestleMania to New Orleans for WrestleMania 42 next year. So another round of WrestleMania in New Orleans. I think that may be the road trip. I've never gotten to go to New Orleans, so that should be no. It's one of the few places I haven't invaded yet. So I need to get down there. And
I've been to New Orleans for both the Super Bowl and WrestleMania. I went to 34, I guess. the one that wasn't so noteworthy. Had a great time at Ring of Honor Supercard of Honor. I met Hiroshi Tanahashi there. That was
Nice.
cool. That was very cool.
Yeah. So
But
looking
yeah,
forward.
the rumor right now, next year WrestleMania in NOLA, which there's part of me that says, yeah, I may make that road trip just for the hell of it.
Just for the hell of it. Come on, Stu. Come on.
It's
You
New
know,
Orleans.
I know.
A good weekend of eating. It's I like I said, I'm a fan of New Orleans.
The cool thing of a place like New Orleans is like a Las Vegas. There's all this stuff to do.
Yeah.
You're not just like waiting for Mania to be the only thing that's going to happen, and not just all the events around Mania, but what is in New Orleans, what is in Las Vegas, where compared to some of the other cities it's been in, it's like oh, there's nothing else really here to do. I'm here just for Mania. So,
and maybe I'll take a swim in the Gulf of America, just for fun. Just for fun. But that whole thing's interesting. But
stupid.
Speaking of wrestling, Shad Khan's yacht, that was the talk of New Orleans. That thing was a beast. He was definitely flexing on the entire Super Bowl community because that yacht was pulled up right so everybody can see it. It was an amazing,
nice
aquatic
vehicle.
Should have hopped on.
He does really well for a team that isn't that great. He does quite well.
That's also not his only team.
True, but it's his only NFL team.
Right.
He kind of has a business he runs too. Don't forget that. So
yeah,
kind of how he got the money in the first place.
Did y'all see the pictures of the Hurt Syndicate on said yacht?
That's right. I forgot. I did catch those, but yeah,
they were doing Radio Row. I saw the pictures. A good friend of mine, Joe Roderick, who does sports radio in St. Louis, and he and I teamed up on Super Bowl weeks before, and he had a nice chat with MVP and Bobby Lashley and Shelton Benjamin. So and Tony Khan always does. He always did Radio Row as well, which that's one of the bennies when you do Super Bowl radio and you do a wrestling show. You get to talk to the AEW CEO and GM there at the Super Bowl.
Yeah, very cool. So, well, speaking of Tony Khan, by the way, he had a busy weekend, especially on Saturday morning here, actually, with the Grand Slam Australia. And, pretty good card, guys. We had a new women's world champion as Toni Storm knocks off Mariah May. A lot of good matches on this thing. We had 5 of them out there, and I thought the card overall went pretty well. Phil, did you like it?
I really, I'll be honest. I was at another event, but I liked what the card was going to look like. But I haven't had a chance to watch any of it yet because I got home super late last night.
Rosey, did you get to see it?
I was at Indian Phoenix with Sam Adonis and Hammerstone, so I only caught the first match, the Kenny Omega tag team match with Ospreay and everything. That was a spot fest. It was a spectacle.
Stu, did you get to see it?
I saw most of it.
Okay.
It was fine. It's Collision. It's a Collision show. It was just the simple fact that it's in Australia, which a beautiful country. It was fine. I'm glad Omega and Ospreay won. The tag match with Death Riders and Adam Copeland and Jay White. If they are planning on having Copeland win the world title at Revolution, then I get why they did what they did. Otherwise, what was the purpose of the match other than have a hardcore match? It was like I said, I'll wait and see what happens in Los Angeles before I render judgment on that. The rest of the card was fine. I think Tony Khan missed the mark on not putting the TBS title on Harley Cameron. But then again, I've made my feelings about Mercedes Moné known on this show quite a bit. So I think by not pulling the trigger on that, I think it was a mistake.
Well, I have a feeling there's more in the future for those two. I don't think this is done by a long shot. But,
I mean, why not do it in Harley's home country? I mean, if you're going to do it on a random Dynamite or Collision, or I guess do it at Revolution in Los Angeles, okay, fine. But it doesn't have the impact. I mean, you saw the pop that Toni Storm got when she won the world title, there in Australia. Why not get the same thing for Harley?
Maybe they didn't think she was ready yet. Who knows? But she has been the talk of AEW, and Phil, you just have to love. I mean, how talented she is. I mean, I know she has done shows out at wrestling events when she's been touring, and she's just a brilliant performer. Where do you see her in the ring though? Do you think she's quite there yet, or a little more polishing before we start throwing the belts on her?
I mean, so that's the one thing about the lens I look at with everybody in wrestling. Everybody needs more polish. Like everybody can get more polish. I think she's stepped up her game. So already that's a tremendous accomplishment, because I have seen, unfortunately, a lot of people get to the AEW stage and they sort of peter out because they don't think about, I have to make constant improvement. I have to be on top of the game. So I'm looked at as like I'm on top of the game. And Harley's been doing that. And so I think everything she's doing is in the right direction. This is not like the end of her. I think we're going, like you said, I think we're going to see her again. And I think again with Mercedes.
And that photo that somebody got of her, and I think, it was on the screen too, Billy, but the screenshot with her and the puppet kind of sticking their head up over the side of the ring, that was something. I mean, she's just looking psychotic, and the puppet's kind of with a head tilt. I mean, that was awesome. But yeah, I mean, overall, I thought it was a good show, and Toni Storm's back on top, and I'm sure we're going to see more of her and Mariah May. That thing is not over by a long shot, but it will be fun to see as well. Revolution's coming up in LA. I know I'm going to take the drive down there and see what happens, but man, I'll tell you, Cope and Mox should be a fun match. So nice weekend for them. And Tony got booed until he said, "Hey, we're coming back," and then everybody's like, "Oh, you're our pal again! Yay, thank you." That was kind of funny. Good day in Australia.
Okay, someone explain to me, why did they boo him? Was it because they thought they were getting a pay-per-view?
No, it's just people like to boo Tony. I don't know why.
Kind of like everybody boos the Jets at the NFL draft.
Maybe. I suppose. I think
or Roger Goodell.
Yeah. Roger Goodell would be probably a more favorable comparison on that. And then we also last night had NXT Vengeance Day, which, a lot of pretty decent matches on there too. And we have a new North American Women's Champion in Stephanie Vacour. And I want to feed off that a little bit too. Nathan Frazier and Axiom still performing very well, holding on to their tag titles. Ethan Page gets a win. Eddie Thorpe gets a win. So some of the heels going over. Obafemi, no problem defending his championship. And Julia holds on to her women's championship in a pretty good four-way with Bayley, Roxanne Perez, and Cora Jade. What do you guys think about the future of Obafemi? Coach, if you're looking at this guy, I feel like the sky's the limit for this dude. I mean, he's just, not only does he have the body and the power and all those things that you need, but there's something a little extra when he performs in the ring. There's a little more extra charisma and something on top of it that just makes you look at this guy and you're like, man, this is a superstar in the making.
Yeah, they're definitely going to fast track him. All I'm thinking about right now with NXT is Ricky Starks. So, having Ricky come in the day after Obafemi, he's phenomenal. He is going to be a star in this business. But NXT, I would say now, is a viable third company. You got SmackDown, Raw, and NXT. They're all separated. They all have their own storylines, but they're all integrated. I'm really liking what they're doing.
Yeah, it is pretty cool. One thing though that I'm wondering about, and it kind of ties into, we now have the Royal Rumble winners that have picked their opponents for WrestleMania, and Jey Uso is going to be taking on Gunther, and Charlotte's going to be meeting up with Tiffany Stratton. Phil, I'm curious to hear your thoughts on this, because you look at NXT right now with the talent that they've got down there, and some people are going to be coming up. Roxanne Perez is going to be on the main roster pretty shortly. You're looking at people like Stephanie McClure and Julia and so many other terrific performers down there. Is Tiffany Stratton in a little bit of trouble on this? If she and I think we're all anticipating Charlotte beating her, but she's going to be in a weird spot if she does lose this WrestleMania match between the people that are on the roster and the people that are coming up. She's talented, but that's going to be kind of a fight to hold her spot, isn't it?
I agree. I absolutely agree with that. I mean, I think you just said everything I was going to say. She's, excuse me, you're right. And again, she's another person who's increased her abilities. She's gotten more and more talented, but you're right. Well, not only is everybody gunning for her, she's sort of, in comparison to some of the others, it feels like she is outclassed. Mm-hmm. She's still very extremely talented. So it's like, okay, what is that next thing that she can do to step it up to be like, you're not getting past me?
Yeah, Stu, would you agree with that?
Yeah, absolutely. Because, the talk around the campfire is that, so for instance, Jordynne Grace is not going to be in NXT very long. You mentioned Julia and Stephanie McClure, who, they're, they won their titles, in NXT, but well known across the world, especially, respectively in Japan and in South America. It's a good problem to have. Don't get me wrong. I mean, I think WWE is doing really well as far as their women's roster, especially in NXT. But I think it's simply a matter of that means everybody else, Tiffany Stratton, they're going to have to step their game up a little bit. And it is kind of a foregone conclusion that Charlotte is going to beat Tiffany Stratton at WrestleMania. I'll be pretty surprised if she doesn't. But as you said, Roxanne Perez, she's probably going to be on the main roster probably in the next week or two. There's Tiffany Stratton's got to work. She's as talented as she is now, she needs to find that push to make herself even better.
Yeah, because I'd hate to see her go down the road of where, like, for example, where Naomi is. That she's kind of been hanging around the mid-card, upper mid-card, after, even though she was a former world champion. And, Tiffany's going to get a short reign on this. And then she's back in the middle of the piles. And she's incredibly talented. So I don't know. This is going to be a fun career crossroads for Ms. Stratton as she moves forward after WrestleMania, if she loses to Charlotte. Still have to say if. So, all right, let's take a break. Because if I don't, they yell at me. So we will come back. A whole lot more news. Some great stuff coming to the Vegas Valley, as another company has made an announcement they're going to be out here. The PWI Awards, guys. We didn't talk about those. You guys might want to pull those up. And Elimination Chamber, and someone is back on their feet. Stick around, everybody. We'll be right back.
The average new auto loan payment is over $700 a month, and the average American home has more than one car. By moving your auto loans to One Nevada Credit Union, you could take a break from those payments for a few months. Call it a financial detox. That detox could be close to $4,000 in your pocket. With One Nevada Credit Union, you can buy or move over your existing auto loan and save big. Start 2025 right with a 90-day no-pay auto loan from One Nevada. Visit onenevada.org. Federally insured by NCUA. The average new auto loan payment is over $700 a month, and the average American home has more than one car. By moving your auto loans to One Nevada Credit Union, you could take a break from those payments for a few months. Call it a financial detox. That detox could be close to $4,000 in your pocket. With One Nevada Credit Union, you can buy or move over your existing auto loan and save big. Start 2025 right with a 90-day no-pay auto loan from One Nevada. Visit onenevada.org. Federally insured by NCUA.
Mornings can start feeling the same. Wake up, brush teeth, go to work. But with breakfast from Wendy's, it's like, wake up, brush teeth, Baconate with a breakfast Baconator. Roll with the sausage breakfast burrito. Buddy it up with a honey buddy. Or get seasoned with seasoned potatoes. And then go to work. Sorry. When you're ready for a fresh wake-up call, gotta be Wendy's.
At participating U.S. Wendy's during breakfast hours.
As of 9 a.m. this morning, our EV trucking company is officially in operation.
Andrew's zero-emission trucks are driving the transportation category forward.
We'll make driving safer, easier, and less stressful. Now our technology needs to keep up with demand.
He needs to put pedal to the metal on hiring more software engineers.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. When you sponsor a job on Indeed, it's easier for talented candidates to find it, which makes it easier for you to hire them. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, let's talk ED because millions of men experience it, but not everyone can access or afford treatments like Viagra. Well, HIMS can help. Through HIMS.com, you can get a full range of treatment options for ED, including daily or as-needed meds through a 100% online process. It all starts with an online intake form. Get started at hims.com/joy. And from there, a medical provider licensed in your state will determine if ED treatment is right for you. If prescribed, your medication is shipped to you for free. Find the ED treatment that fits your needs with options up to 95% less than the brand names. Millions of men experience ED, but HIMS can help. To start your free online visit and save up to 95%, go to hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy for your free online visit. HIMS.com/JOY.
1015 FM KDAWN. This is the Mark Hoke Show. The Mark Hoke Show. Here again, your host, Mark Hoke.
Hey, let's do some more pro wrestling here on KDAWN 1015 FM. The talk of Las Vegas, of course, also on the Odyssey app, AUDACY. You can catch all the great shows on KDAWN and ones from all over the world, including Stu Myrick's show, Sports Guys Talking Wrestling, out of Austin, Texas. And I promise you, you download that app and you're going to feel like you ran up the Rocky Steps, man, at the Art Museum. It's going to be that great. Stu, you have to do that sometime.
What's that?
I think you'd enjoy it.
What?
Running up the Rocky Steps at the Art Museum in
Philadelphia.
Yeah.
No.
I'm sorry. I'm going to keep jabbing. It's just going to happen. But yeah, so some great stuff going on pro wrestling on the Mark Hoke Show here. We got Stu Myrick, Phil Stamper, Josh Rosenbaum joining us. And before we step into some of the things going on in Vegas and some other notes, you brought up Coach Ricky Starks showing up in NXT. And he was one of 3 releases that happened early this week with Ricky Starks, Miro, and Malachi Black all being let go by AEW. And all of a sudden, Ricky Starks is on TV. Hey, what's up? That didn't take long. But all 3 of those guys are expected to be in WWE at some point. Coach, I know you were happy to see it, but were you surprised this happened so quick with Ricky to get him on TV?
You would have thought they would have had a, whatever they call that 90-day deal where they can't wrestle, but I guess that's not in the AEW contracts. They better fix that because all the momentum swung to NXT, so it was kind of a knock on AEW. They were kind of outwitted, outsmarted, and the way that he came in, it brought back memories of the Outsiders. I know that's a reach, but to see him come down out of the stands made me think of Scott Hall back in the old days of WCW. So I'm excited for it.
Stu, is that, you bring that up, Coach, about the 90-day period, but, first about the 3 guys, your thoughts on them being released like that. But is the 90-day clause that big of a deal?
Let me start with Ricky first because, I know Ricky, well, at least as of a couple weeks ago, was still living here in Austin. I would see him around all the time, whether it was Inspire shows, RWA shows, whatever. So I'm happy to see Ricky make his mark in NXT. As far as the 90-day, it depends. Ricky Starks and Miro, we haven't seen on AEW television in months. So I'm not sure if there was any momentum to lose. Malachi Black, I think we saw him in at least a month or two ago, maybe. So maybe there's that, but at the same time, and especially with Miro and Malachi Black, they kind of have the tag of ex WWE guys anyway, under Rusev and Aleister Black. So I'm not sure it was that big of a momentum shift. Ricky definitely, I think Ricky kind of made it a little bit, but again, we hadn't seen Ricky on AEW television in quite a while. So I don't think there was much, if any, harm in that happening. So
Yeah, Phil, what did you think of these releases? And do you think the 90-day clause is something that's outdated, or do you think it's necessary?
It's a bit of a mix because with the 90-day clause comes money. To be very honest, on the WWE side, like, we're going to keep paying you X amount for 90 days, or you can just be done and sure, good luck. And that is then difficult when it's like, well, I haven't been used. And so same kind of thing. Ricky at least tried. He was working some independent dates. He would show up here and there. People were speculating a lot on social media. So I think in a very good way, his name still had some momentum and buzz associated with that crowd and with that audience that was really interested in what he was going to do. And this is not to say, like, of course, Miro is very talented. Aleister Black or Malachi Black, extremely, extremely talented. But they weren't in that same range. And you're right, because they hadn't been used. I think Aleister, Malachi, whatever you want to call him, is going to jump right back into WWE and is going to be totally fine. Miro, I wonder in my brain if WWE is interested. I don't know if they are, because I don't know how he left things. I think that's a big question mark in my brain. I've not heard anything positive or negative, just in general terms. I don't know, because he seemed to leave and sort of make a statement about leaving the WWE. So now would they take him back? And that's sort of a bigger question for me.
Everybody shoots their mouth off when they leave WWE. I think they're just kind of used to it at this point. Just, all right, yeah, you're not happy. Say your piece. And
the same thing happens the other way around too, although they don't mention AEW on WWE television. So I do agree with Phil. The thing with Miro does seem a little kind of because part of it is a simple fact. Where would he fit in? Because WWE is rolling right now. I mean, they got content. So where do you put him in?
Yeah.
You can't redo Rusev. You can't do the Rusev Lana thing. They're not even a couple anymore. And that's the thing. I don't think Lana, or whatever you want to call her, I don't think she is like necessarily looking to rejoin the wrestling world. So it's kind of one of those things where maybe Rusev, Miro, whatever you want to call him, maybe if he wants to stick around in wrestling, maybe he does some indie dates. Maybe he goes to TNA.
Yeah, that would be a good fit for him. I think TNA would be a nice fit for him. But whoever comes a calling, I suppose. Speaking of TNA, of course, Josh Alexander has left, and apparently he's going to be headed to AEW, is the current rumor. There's also talk with Ray Phoenix that they're going to he's trying to negotiate his way out of his contract. So that would be kind of fun to get Ray Phoenix back into the mix over there in WWE, even though, there's a couple interesting dynamics there. Number one, I think Josh Alexander is a good AEW fit, but the way things have gone with Penta right now, is it the right time? Let's say Tony released Ray Phoenix tomorrow. Is it the right time to put him in there when you're kind of looking at Penta and making him a superstar, guys?
That's a good question, because Phoenix, I love his work in the ring. He's a great guy. He's had injury problems. He's spent quite a bit of time on the injury list. So he gets released. WWE's going to look at him and say, how healthy are you? And like you said, they're going to make Penta a star. So I don't know.
Coach, what do you think? What do you think about that?
I think Ray Phoenix is better in tag teams, so I don't think they're going to kill Penta's momentum by putting them back together. So where would he fit? That's really the question. Are they trying to expand their roster to reach more of a Hispanic demographic? If that's the case, maybe. But I think Ray Phoenix is a better tag team wrestler with the injuries and with the way he fights. So I wouldn't take Penta out of that. So for me, it wouldn't be a hit.
Yeah, Phil, it's kind of a mess when you really think about this, that, Penta is just so over right now. Do you put Ray Phoenix back with him and redo the Lucha Dragons, or you keep rolling with Penta and say, he will find another place for you? It's a tricky spot.
I think right now I would sort of keep them separate but united. It's sort of like the Kevin Steen, Sami Zayn, or Kevin Owens, sorry, Sami Zayn.
You can say Kevin Steen on this show. It's okay.
They touch and they go away. They touch and they go away. They team and they go away. Like, I think there's an opportunity there to maybe do that. Hopefully. The thing is with AEW, there's a lot of people. They have a huge roster. We keep forgetting that a gigantic field of people that they're not utilizing all that well all the time. And there have been other people who have said, hey, release me, please, because you're not using me. And then it's like, well, no, because I don't want you to go over there. But then you can only do that for sort of so long. Meanwhile, WWE, who, we talked last week about some of those releases, they now have more programming than they did 6 months ago. They have the Legends and Future Great show. They have now Evolve is coming. NXT, SmackDown, Raw. I feel like I'm missing another show somewhere. Speed, Main Event. Like, there's all these all this programming that WWE is doing. And so maybe they do have enough spots, or maybe they don't, because then they hired a whole bunch of WWE ID people, and now they have the LFG people. So it's sort of like, where are you fitting all of these people into? And do you have enough spots? So I do have that little bubble in my back of my brain too. Like, would they bring in a Phoenix right now? Like, is now that right time? I think there's a good story to be told with him and Penta, but I think, is that really what you want? Or are you just going to ride the momentum of Penta? We don't need Phoenix right now because Penta's already here.
Yeah, I would have never thought that Penta was going to be that over in WWE right off the bat. And, figured they'd be, warming up, keeping him going a little bit, and then Ray gets there and off they go. But Penta is hot, and I don't know if you want to take anything away from that at this point. So that's going to be interesting for Ray Phoenix, what happens to him, to say the least. So I do want to throw out here, before we go to break, a lot of great stuff happening in Las Vegas. Of course, WrestleMania is going to be here, and we're getting ready for just a wild time on the West Coast. Of course, LA is going to have Revolution on March 9th, but TNA just made their announcement. They are going to be back here in Las Vegas. Very excited to have that gang coming back to town, as it will be TNA Unbreakable during the week of WrestleMania 41. That's going to be on April 17th. So looking forward to that. That'll be at the Cox Pavilion, which is part of on UNLV's campus. So you might want to start getting your tickets for that. But boy, Coach, what a fun week this is going to be. Oh my God. WrestleMania is
TNA to the Collective to WrestleMania to the Circa, the atmosphere there. I'm counting the days. I took 2 weeks off of work, paid leave, so I'm gonna soak it all in.
Wow, 2 weeks.
Yep. 2 weeks. This is my last year of teaching, so I got a lot of sick days to use. Hopefully my principal's not listening.
I don't know. I hear a tickle in the back of your throat.
Right.
Oh, that is funny. But Phil, this calendar inside and out right now, man. It is going to be an incredible week of action here for WrestleMania. Plus, don't forget, of course, AEW is going to be here for Collision on March 15th too. So a ton of stuff going on. It's going to be crazy.
And let me give you a plug, Mark. I came into Vegas 2 weeks ago for a comedy show, and I used your travel shark. Got a great room at the Westgate for like $50 on a Saturday night. So if you really want to try to find some rooms, hit up the Travel Shark because they have some awesome deals.
There you go. Ooh.
See, I'm not lying.
Nope.
But we'll plug them in a little bit. But Phil, just your thoughts about how that week's shaping up here in Las Vegas.
I mean, it's going to be a very, very busy week. More and more keeps getting added. There's things that have been teased that haven't been released yet, certain dates and times. So I'm looking forward to everything that's going to be coming that way.
Yeah.
Hopefully you will. That's what we're hoping on.
Hopefully more people will book me. Please, please, please. There you go.
Please.
My pitch.
A quick Texas plug. New Texas Pro Wrestling will be in Vegas Friday, April 18th with Texas Hold'em. It will be at the Swan Dive, 1301 South Main Street in Las Vegas. Bell time 10 p.m. Pacific. I assume it's Pacific. But yeah, New Texas Pro Wrestling, one of the better independent wrestling promotions here in the Lone Star State.
I'm trying to remember exactly where that is. I have to look that one up. I've never been to the Swan Dive before. So
that's what they're tickets on sale, newtexaspro.com/events.
All right. So Coach, you mentioned about the Travel Shark, and guys, it's legit. You can get those employee prices, those mystery prices right there on the spot. You don't have to play any games. All you have to do is sign up for free. Just go to thetravelshark.com/Hoke Show. Man, there's a lot of wrestling traveling to be done, especially here in Las Vegas. And trust me, they'll jack these rooms up before you even know it. So go there right now, get amazing discounts, and I promise you're going to score big. So check it out at thetravelshark.com/Hoke Show. You got to do that or I lose out. And I need the money. So please go to thetravelshark.com/Hoke Show and join the fun. All right, let's take another break here on the Mark Hoke Show on KDAWN 101.5 FM, the talk of Las Vegas. Best in pro wrestling, Stu Myrick, Josh Rosenbaum, Coach Rosey, and Phil Stamper joining me here. A whole lot more to come. Stick around, everybody. We'll be right back.
Get baked, get sauced, get rocked. Come check out River Rock Pizza and Pasta at Arizona Charlie's Decatur. We're serving up some of the best specialty pizzas and classic pasta dishes this side of Vegas. Now with pizzas from just $7, our classic rock-inspired restaurant will have you dancing in your seat. River Rock Pizza and Pasta at Arizona Charlie's Decatur is available for dining in or to go. Only at
Arizona Charlie's Casino. Backed by popular demand, Henderson Harley-Davidson's Chili Cook-Off. Saturday, February 22nd, 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. You can bring the entire family for free sampling, live music, and delicious food trucks too. Think you have the best chili in town? $25 entry fee includes everything needed to warm and serve, from electrical outlets and tables to serving utensils and tasting cups. Space is limited, so sign up today for an opportunity to win cash prizes and bragging rights for a year. Learn more at hendersonhd.com. See you there.
We've all got a thing. Yeah, even you. If you love fashion, car parts, trading cards, whatever you're into, it's on eBay. So go find the thing that keeps you up at night. eBay. Things people love.
All right, when it comes to getting life insurance for your family, a lot of excuses can get in the way. But ask yourself this: if something were to happen to me, who would pay the mortgage, the kids' education, and the other bills? Then forget the excuses and check out Ethos Life, the online, easy way to get life insurance in 10 minutes. Ethos has rates that you can afford, like a $500,000 policy for a 40-year-old male starting at $1 a day or $30 a month, with a few health questions and no medical exam. Get your free quote right now at checkethos.com. That's checkethos.com. Not available in all states. Rates do vary.
Empower. Nick bought a new guitar, a 62 American Classic Electric. Does he know how to play? No. But Nick's Empower investment account has performed well. He got good at money, so he can be a little bad. Empower. Invest well, live a little. Start today at empower.com.
Past performance is not indicative of future returns. Investing involves risk. You may lose money. Advisory services are provided for a fee by Empower Advisory Group, LLC, EAG, a registered investment advisor with the Securities and Exchange Commission. This is a really good guitar solo.
While retinitis pigmentosa takes Mark's vision, his family gives him hope. whether at the family business or at home with his wife and sons. He knows he's not fighting alone. For 50 years, the Foundation Fighting Blindness has funded research into treatments and cures for blinding retinal diseases, providing hope to people with vision loss. And for Mark, winning the fight means being there for his family. The Foundation Fighting Blindness. Together, we're winning. Help us end blinding diseases at fightingblindness.org.
We've all got a thing. Yeah, even you. If you love fashion, car parts, trading cards, whatever you're into, it's on eBay. So go find the thing that keeps you up at night. eBay. Things people love.
1015 FM KDAWN. You're listening to the #1 professional wrestling radio show in Vegas, The Mark Hoke Show. The Mark Hoke Show. Now, here again is Mark Hoke.
All right, let's keep this Vegas party rolling here on 1015 FM KDAWN, the talk of Las Vegas, streaming on the Odyssey app. And we are also live streaming on YouTube, Facebook, and X. X is at Mark Hoke Show if you want to give us a follow there, and then YouTube and Facebook, The Mark Hoke Show. And you can get in on the discussion. Say hi to us. Tell us what you're thinking. And maybe we'll put your comments up, just like, this one from Bionic Scoop, who says Penta oozes charisma. That's a very oozy comment. And by the way, he also said hi to us, guys. There it is. Mark, Coach, Phil, Stu. So we got to give it to him. Scoop! Scoop. One of the great wrestling photographers on the planet. So check him out. Look up Bionic Scoop and hire this man. Keep him busy during WrestleMania. I'm sure I'll see him at some point, but yeah, Scoop's pretty awesome. All right. So we, speaking of some Vegas guys, we had a pretty great story happen this week. And if you missed it, Chris Bay released a video and a statement. And it's the first long thing that we've heard from Chris since the accident back in April at the TNA tapings. But Chris had been paralyzed from the waist down. He did confirm that. We mentioned that on the show a while back that we got that news. But he's walking again. He had neck and spinal fusion surgery. I mean, some brutal stuff here. But Chris Bay is back on his feet, and the dashing one, I don't know when it's going to be. We'll see him in a ring, but I think everybody's just happy that Chris is even walking at this point, Phil.
It's amazing. It's good to see. And that was the concern. He mentioned that in his post that, he was told there might not be a chance for him to walk. And when it first happened, he was paralyzed from the neck down. And so, it shows his determination to get better. It shows the physical conditioning he was in when the incident occurred. I mean, so a lot of great things are in his favor, and so he's continuing to charge forward. And man, just I want all the best for him to get better faster.
Yeah, Stu, your thoughts on Chris?
Look, Chris Bay is one of the genuinely nicest guys in wrestling. I've had great encounters with him when he would, come to any part of Texas to wrestle and such, and to see him get up and take those steps, and and then read the words that he shared, showing his love for his fellow TNA wrestlers, for Ace Austin, for the doctors and such. It was incredibly heartwarming, and look, yes, we would all love to see him, get back in the ring eventually. But first and foremost, just want him to have a good standard of life. Just want him to get better. If he doesn't step in the ring again, as long as he can get better and have a good life, then that's what matters.
Yeah, Coach, it was pretty cool to see Chris up.
Yeah, I mean, we got to remember our wrestlers are human. We think they're immortal, but to see him bounce back after so many people that have been injured don't bounce back, it's a breath of fresh air that miracles can truly happen.
Yeah, and just my personal thoughts on Chris too is he generally is one of the nicest guys around. I mean, Chris always took time to talk to me at whatever event I'd go to, and just sensational to watch. there's other facets to Chris too that I think sometimes people don't see. And one was it was actually the night I played Santa Claus. I was at FSW. Chris was on the card, and while I was kind of sitting back, hanging around, as wrestlers were coming back, Chris was watching their matches, and you would hear Chris give people his opinions and thoughts, how they could do better, what they did right, what they did wrong, and was not just some guy, and he was still in TNA. I mean, this is a guy that doesn't really need to do anything extra for anybody. And there he was trying to be a locker room leader and, help people push themselves to get better. I mean, I was just really stunned to listen to Chris talk and just how, and coach, you and I both coached for a long time. You're still doing it. To hear that was just like, man, this is a guy that could train people and really help them along the way. And, I just love Chris to death. And I know Brittany Brooks, who's really starting to make her impact on the independent scene too. His girlfriend, is terrific. And Ace Austin was standing with him the whole time. And, one thing that's really good about Chris too, is that, he keeps his body in immaculate shape, which may have partially saved his life, because this is a guy who doesn't put anything into his body that isn't going to help him be ripped, shredded, and be able to do what he wants to do. So it was really satisfying to see Chris back on his feet. A lot of people love the guy, and we want to wish Chris all the best as he continues his recovery from that terrible accident. We got a couple minutes left here, so let's throw one interesting story out. The Road Dogg is going to be writing for SmackDown, fellas. The Road Dogg. He is now the co-lead writer for SmackDown. Coach, you're putting your arms in the air. Are you happy about the Road Dogg getting involved at the top of the chain?
I like the Road Dogg's book, and I had a chance to watch him in action at Ric Flair's last match, and to see him weave the storylines and really produce that show. SmackDown's doing well, but I can't see how Road Dogg's going to hurt it. I can only see it excelling it more.
Phil, do you like the Road Dogg up there?
I do. I've actually had the pleasure of doing commentary with him a couple times. I really enjoy him. I think it's interesting, the circle of people that you keep, right? Because now you have like Shawn Michaels on NXT, you have Road Dogg on SmackDown, Triple H is running it all. I mean, just hey, baby.
Stu, would you have ever thought that if I'd have come to you, say 15 years ago, and said Triple H was going to be running creative and Shawn Michaels will be running NXT and the Road Dogg was going to be lead writer on SmackDown, would you have punched my face in and said, "Go away, demon"?
I wouldn't punch your face in. It's wrestling. It's not world politics. It's hey, look, good on all of them, and I will be interested to see what Road Dogg does as far as, because I think we all can agree 3-hour SmackDowns are too long. The 3-hour Raws were too long. Thankfully, they've cut at least 30 minutes off of those. And allegedly, SmackDown will go back to 2 hours, I think in June or July, something like that. But between now and then, we got to see how well they can kind of handle a 3-hour show, because 3-hour shows are a bit to watch.
Yep. We'll find out if the Road Dogg's pen is working. Phil, you were waving to somebody.
I know, I'm just saying because I have to run off. I have an event I'm heading to today for MCW up in Maryland. So you all have a great second hour.
All right. That sounds great. And of course, you can follow Phil at Trust and Phil on X and his work with the Wrestling Revolver. Great stuff there. All right, guys. Hey, we're going to come back. Hour number 2. Whole lot going on as we get ready for Elimination Chamber, WrestleMania. And we hadn't talked about the PWI Awards yet. So I think we need to get a look at those. That's kind of important. So we'll be back with Stu Myrick. Coach, are you sticking around real quick?
Of course. Yeah, no, I'm here for you.
All right, there we go. So you'll have Stu Myrick, Coach Rosey, and me, Mark Hoke. We'll be right back, everybody. Want more of The Mark Hoke Show? Follow us on Twitter at Mark Hoke Show, like us on Facebook at The Mark Hoke Show, and visit markhokeshow.com to keep up with everything happening with the show. And remember to check out all of our archive shows on YouTube at The Mark Hoke Show and download our podcasts at markhokeshow.podbean.com and all your favorite podcast outlets. So join The Mark Hoke Show family today, and thanks for listening.
Hi, I'm Sherry Harris, owner of LifeSource Water. I love that when I'm spending time with my grandson, I can make him a bottle using water from any tap in our home. With a LifeSource whole house system, every drop is clean, healthy, and ready for anything, from baby bottles to bath time. Plus, no regular filter changes, no fuss, just clean water throughout the entire house. You deserve water that performs at its peak. So call 1-800-WATER-99 or visit lifesourcewater.com for factory direct pricing today.
Warranty limitations apply.
During tax season, your info travels lots of places you can't control.
W-2 arriving from payroll platform 3.
Everything criminals need to steal your identity is on your W-2.
Last call for accountant at home office. 1 minute.
LifeLock monitors hundreds of millions of data points per second.
Tax preparation data centers with service to IRS. All aboard.
If your identity is stolen, we'll fix it guaranteed, or your money back. Save up to 40% your first year with promo code NEWS. Visit lifelock.com. Terms apply.
What does it feel like to file with TaxSlayer and get your guaranteed maximum refund? It feels like the last level of a video game, facing off against the final boss who stands between you and your refund.
All your refund has belonged to me.
Using the power of TaxSlayer like a secret power-up he doesn't see coming.
Only the most tax confident can defeat me.
Throwing your laptop at his video game face and watching him crumble into a giant pile of shiny coin tax refunds.
Oh, not fair. You use TaxSlayer.
Start for free and get your guaranteed maximum refund. TaxSlayer. File fearlessly.
Ever feel like there aren't enough hours in the day? If you get busy or miss your favorite show, don't worry. With Rewind, available exclusively on the free Odyssey app, you can stream your favorite shows on demand. You know your day is better with us. Get the news that matters to you from the local voices you trust. No matter what you're up to, give it a try. To get started, download the free Odyssey app and search for your station. That's AUDACY.
1 in 4 Americans have a disability. I'm one of them. I'm also a working mom who cares deeply about making sure every child with a disability thrives by getting their access needs met. We've got a trusted ally by our side. Easter Seals provides children and families the foundation for lifelong success through early learning programs, skills training, and prep for college and career. That's my Easter Seals. Make it yours. Join us at easterseals.com.
Empower. Tim collects bobbleheads. A lot of bobbleheads. Baseball bobbleheads. Race car bobbleheads. Little chihuahua bobbleheads. He's got an entire room strictly for bobbleheads. Does he need them? No. Is his wife mad about it? A little. But Tim works with Empower, and he got good at money, so he can be a little bad. Ooh, horse bobblehead. Classy, Tim. Empower. Invest well, live a little. Start today at empower.com.
KMXB HD3 Henderson, K268CS Las Vegas. Always live on the free Odyssey app. 1015 FM KDAWN.
U.S. officials are set to negotiate an end to Russia's war against Ukraine. I'm Ann Carrick, Fox News. European leaders calling for an emergency meeting to discuss President Trump's vision for Ukraine. Fox's Dana Marie McNichol reports from West Palm Beach, Florida.
National Security Advisor Mike Waltz, Special Envoy Steve Witkoff, and Secretary Marco Rubio will meet this week with senior Russian officials in Saudi Arabia. Expected to be absent from discussions, Ukraine and Europe. Trump officials have also made it clear they expect European allies in NATO to take responsibility for the region, as the U.S. focuses on other priorities, such as securing the border and countering China.
Let's be honest, now we can't rule out the possibility that America might say no to Europe on issues that threaten it.
NATO Secretary General on Saturday calling on member countries to step up spending.
The president recently announcing he wants to revive nuclear arms control talks with Russia and China, hoping all three countries can agree to slash defense budget spending. Several states declare a state of emergency as a storm system from Saturday brings floods to Tennessee, Kentucky, and Virginia, killing at least 2 people. Fox Weather's Adam Klotz with the forecast.
Across the mountains, you're talking about very heavy rain. So from Tennessee, Kentucky,
getting up into southern Ohio, spots where flooding is a major concern. A little bit farther south, there is a line of storms that is bringing severe weather, isolated tornadoes at times, but big thunderstorms. And then, of course, the northern end of that system, this is more of a winter weather maker, just kind of breezy and cold. That continues to be a major issue as we're looking at winter weather advisories across that entire region. This is going to be lasting pretty much throughout the day here on this Sunday before clearing off. And on the backside of this system, bad news. Folks in the Midwest know it, but colder air is on the way.
More than 500,000 people are without power. America is listening to Fox News.
Fox News Audio presents the Fox Nation Investigates podcast, Evil Next Door, exploring the life and crimes of 5 serial predators from across the United States.
It's a very disturbing case.
Never before heard interviews and first-hand perspectives.
Described as pure evil. That's a good description.
The Fox Nation Investigates podcast, Evil Next Door. Follow and listen starting February 25th at foxtruecrime.com or wherever you get your favorite podcasts.
It is time to take the quiz.
5 days a week, it's 5 questions in less than 5 minutes. We ask people on the streets of New York City to play along. Let's see how you do.
What are the 2 active volcanoes on mainland Europe called?
Is Vesuvio one of them?
Vesuvius and Etna.
How'd you do? Exactly. These get tougher, so hang on.
Take the quiz every weekday at thequiz.fox. Then come back here to see how you did. Thank you for taking the quiz.
You never hear me call myself a journalist. I'm not. I'm not a journalist. And a talk show host has opinions, and I do have an opinion. I'm an opinion journalist. I don't hide and say I'm object. I'm not.
Sean Hannity, weekdays at noon on 1015 KDAWN.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the #1 professional wrestling radio show in Las Vegas. This is the Mark Hoke Show. The Mark Hoke Show. Going bell to bell with the best in professional wrestling news, entertainment, and lots of Sin City surprises from inside the squared circle. Now, let's get to all the exciting pro wrestling action and bring on the host. Here is Mark Hoke.
Yeah, it's little old me. What's going on, Las Vegas? How's everybody doing today? The best in pro wrestling news and entertainment on the Mark Hoke Show here on KDAWN 1015 FM. The talk of Las Vegas, also on the Odyssey app, AUDACY. Get that app right now, and you're going to feel like you're just walking down the yellow brick road to the Castle of Oz. And it's legit. So make sure you get that Odyssey app right now. We would certainly appreciate that. And of course, we are also live streaming on YouTube, Facebook, X. So just look up the Mark Hoke Show and get involved, get in that chat box. I know we've got a couple comments we got to get to in there. There's some Jesse Hyde's in there firing away, Scoop, and and maybe you. So come on in. We'd love to have you join us. Along for the ride with me in hour number 2, Stu Myrick from Sports Guys Talking Wrestling. Stu, what's up?
It's Daytona 500 day.
Oh, that's right.
Start of the NASCAR season, and then they'll be here in 2 weeks. Yeah,
they're here in the same weekend as AEW is going to be here.
Okay, all right, yeah. They'll be at Circuit of the Americas. I'll be out there as well. So I won't be on March, I guess, 2nd, because I'll be covering NASCAR.
Fair enough. And of course, from adfreeshows.com, where you can see an unbelievable cast of characters, great shows. Coach Rosey, Josh Rosenbaum, what's up?
I'm excited for the NBA All-Star game tonight. It's a glorified open gym, but I'm looking forward to watching that offensive display tonight.
Ugh. So bad.
Okay, I know, and this is usually like a sports talk, worst All-Star event between the major leagues.
I don't think there's any question about it.
Which one is it? Is it NBA, Major League Baseball, NFL?
Well, boy, that's I guess since the format changed for NBA, I guess we got to try and give them a little bit of a chance tonight, because apparently they're getting the word from up high that this really sucks. You guys actually have to play a little bit, so we'll see what happens tonight.
They're all not very good. Like NFL, they're doing the flag football thing, I guess, to try to cut down on injuries, I suppose. But Major League Baseball is Major League Baseball. Whatever.
Yeah, the All-Star games.
NHL's doing this Four Nations thing.
Oh, this has been great. Did you guys?
Yeah.
I don't know if you got to see what happened last night in the USA Canada game.
They had 3 fights in the first 2 seconds.
Those guys went in there on a mission last night.
Yeah.
And of course the Canadians are kind of, starting to feel their oats a little bit and booed the national anthem again. And 3 fights to start the game, and then the USA just stomped them. They gave up the first goal and then ran off 3 straight. It was just a heavily physical match, and there are some great posts from the Four Nations tournament. So if you didn't get to see it, that one is worth watching. It's like, you got all these guys screwing around on these all-star games, and then, our guys are out there trying to kill each other. It's great.
Now, if they can only do it in the Olympics, which, by the way, we're 1 year away from Milan Cortina in the Winter Olympics.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, and of course, Summer Olympics in LA, whatever's left of it.
2028, yeah.
So hopefully that'll be rebuilt. But yeah, pretty wild night there. We're having some wild nights as we're getting ready for Elimination Chamber, guys. The last step on the road to WrestleMania. Here's where we are right now. So we've got 3 matches on the card. They just announced Tiffany Stratton is going to team with Trish Stratus to take on Nia Jax, Candice LeRae. It's an interesting little tag team there. Tiffany and Trish.
Are they trying? Okay, so I guess they're going to try to make Tiffany Stratton a babyface.
They have no choice. They put her up against Charlotte Flair. The number one. See, I think the whole plan was that Tiff was going to be the heel, and Charlotte. Everybody was going to be thrilled Charlotte was back, and it went the absolute other way, Coach.
Hey, and that was good on WWE for adjusting again. They did it last year at WrestleMania, and they're doing it again this year. Charlotte, as much as I do love her act is a little stale. So I like her better as a heel anyway, because she elicits anger, and that's what you want out of a heel. I don't know why that tag team match, it doesn't make a lot of sense to me. I know there's history, but it's going to be great to see Trish coming out in Toronto.
Yeah, should be. I think it'll be a fun one.
So it's Tiffany and Trish against Charlotte and who?
Tiffany and Trish against Nia Jax, Candice LeRae.
Okay,
yeah, so we're somewhat settling the Nia beef a little bit before we move on. So, but the Elimination Chamber matches are just about set. So here's where we are with those, and of course, the winner is going to get championship shots at the remaining champions. Liv Morgan, Bianca Belair, Alexa Bliss, Bayley, Naomi, and then the winner of Raquel Rodriguez and Roxanne Perez. So the winner of that match is going to go against Rhea Ripley. Coach, what do you think? Who you got? This is interesting.
Say the names one more time.
Liv Morgan, Bianca Belair, Alexa Bliss, Bayley, Naomi, and then either Raquel Rodriguez or Roxanne Perez.
I got to go Liv. They're going to want to put her on the big stage against Rhea for the championship to see if she could do it again. But, there's not much luster in that Elimination Chamber match. I'd like to see Bianca win it, but she's already had her shots at WrestleMania, so I'm going to go with Liv.
What do you think, Stu?
I think the 6th slot will be filled by Roxanne Perez.
I would agree with that.
And then by default, I kind of agree with Coach Rosey. Is it Liv Morgan now? I think they have just about squeezed all the juice they can out of that feud. I think they got enough for maybe a match at WrestleMania, but after that, we got to move on from them because it's been basically Rhea versus Liv for the last year or two, and it's time to let them fight other people.
What would be interesting would be Alexa Bliss. That would be interesting if you got her in there torturing Rhea Ripley. I think people would be excited about that match. No, maybe.
I'm trying to see. Okay, well, okay. It's going to depend on, because allegedly, they're teasing that Alexa Bliss could join the Wyatt Six. Does that happen before WrestleMania? If it does, then no, I don't think it would make any sense. Could it happen? So let's say Alexa wins the Elimination Chamber. It's her and Rhea at WrestleMania, and somewhere in there, or maybe, and then Alexa Bliss loses and then has this, crisis of character and decides to join up with Wyatt Six. I don't know.
The storyline,
I don't think that one fits.
The storyline with Alexa would be great. The promos would be phenomenal leading up to WrestleMania. She's a great storyteller. So that's a viable other option. But, either way, Rhea is going to win. So whoever wins that match is just going to be fed to her to be defeated.
Mm-hmm.
Even if it's Bianca Belair?
Yes.
Yes.
Wow.
Because Bianca Belair, they've got her in this tag title thing and the attack on Jade Cargill.
Yeah, I agree. But
so they're not gonna switch gears on that one.
Yeah, would be a fun match though. Would not complain. We go to the men's side, and man, what a wild one this is going to be. John Cena, CM Punk, Drew McIntyre, Logan Paul, Damian Priest, and then it's going to be Seth Rollins and Finn Balor facing off for that last spot. I would imagine that's probably going to be Seth. I don't see Finn fitting into this group, but I think it would make it a little less suspenseful. But is this a wrap for John Cena, or does Cody maybe get somebody else? I mean, CM Punk would be a match that would get everybody going crazy on that. God, Logan Paul, no, not right now. But now there's some interesting possibilities there. What do you guys think? Is this Cena's time to win this Elimination Chamber match, Coach?
I'm going with CM Punk. I think CM Punk but is going to get his WrestleMania main event, and Cody against CM Punk would be a blockbuster, to say the least. To see those two go at it, John Cena would bring in nostalgia, the older people, but if you really want a current WWE storyline that can go and have some teeth, people want to see CM Punk fight Cody.
Stu, is that where you take it?
Yep, exactly. So it's going to be it's either Seth Rollins or Finn Balor that fills out that last slot. I could see a case for either one, honestly. Although it does feel like maybe Seth could get it so that they can feed more into the, I assume, eventual breakup of the Judgment Day, because it seems like they're going to play that way. But yeah, I think CM Punk, it's his to lose. I've said before, I think it's too soon to put John Cena in the world title picture. I see that as a SummerSlam program, possibly. I am not a fan of Logan Paul, if for no other reason. Look, he's incredibly talented. I'm just, again, I think part, and I guess part of it is simple. Why are you highlighting some guy just because he's got a couple million? It feels a little, we're going to do this so we can get more eyes on the product. Well, you got plenty. You're doing pretty well without having to do that. So, I think it's CM Punk.
Yeah.
On top of that, I think Logan Paul is going to fight John Cena at WrestleMania. I think that singles match would draw a lot of eyes. I think maybe Logan Paul might screw Cena in the Elimination Chamber, and that leads to a match between Cena and Logan Paul, the internet sensation against the old warhorse. I think that would be a hell of a match at WrestleMania.
So let's take your picks here and say it's going to be CM Punk. So where does some of these other guys go? Because one thing that I was reading a lot was when Jay won the Royal Rumble, you kind of push some pretty big names out of the World Championship mix. with Roman Reigns, he's not going to be in this match. So you don't want to get pinned. You're going to leave some of these guys like Seth Rollins possibly behind. Do we get Seth and Roman? And you guys had a good idea there, I think, with Cena and Logan Paul. But a lot of people are like, Drew McIntyre's got to get a big match too here. So, what's the roadmap for these guys going to WrestleMania? If you guys were putting it together, Stu, what do you think?
I like Seth and Roman. I don't think that has been visited enough, quite honestly.
I agree, 100%.
They've danced around each other, and I think they've had one match
that Seth won by a DQ.
Yeah, since so I think that could be a really good battle of Shield teammates. Drew McIntyre, he'll have a match. It'll be against somebody that he gets pissed off at because that's Drew McIntyre. Damian Priest is the interesting one because he just moved to SmackDown. They haven't really set him up into a feud yet. So I mean, I think it's wide open for Damian. But yeah, the Seth Rollins Roman Reigns, that feels like it needs to happen, and I think it's a WrestleMania level match.
Oh, absolutely. And you still got Shinsuke Nakamura, you still got Braun Breaker. You need challengers for those guys. This is going to be, on the men's side especially, is going to be fascinating to see how they piece this together now that they have made that decision to push Jey Uso up. But apparently they had that in the works for a good month or two, so I'm sure they've got a nice little plan set up. But yeah, it's going to be fun to see how this WrestleMania really does come together, because I think just the sentiment that I'm getting from fans is not that excited about Jey Uso and Gunther, not that excited about Charlotte Flair and Tiffany Stratton. So they got to come up with some pretty big matches to really pull everybody into this thing.
I don't get why people are not more excited about Jey Uso. I don't understand it. I think that's going to be hot. Now, there could be kind of the thought of, well, he's not going to, they're not going to take the title off of Gunther anyway. But if that's the case, why not try with Jey Uso? I say yes. Put the title on Jey Uso, even if he has it for like a week. I say do it just for sake of having a pop there in Las Vegas. I just don't get it. I get the Charlotte thing. I do. I wonder if the sentiment against Charlotte Flair is as much we're just tired of seeing her in the main event as it is, booing her because she's a heel. And to a small extent, I kind of agree with that. It's like, why do you have to keep putting her in the main event? And it seems every time she comes back, it's boom, she's automatically in the main event. It's like, you can't come up with something else for her?
Coach, what do and I know you're around a lot of people that are close to Charlotte too. And getting booed there when she came back on Raw, and what seems to be a little bit of Charlotte Flair fatigue. We talked about this last week on the show, that it was, that we think maybe she's got to play a little dirtier and change her character up a little bit. But Coach, what are your feelings about where Charlotte is in her career right now? Because I think she's in a very interesting place to maybe get the fans off her back a little bit and get rid of some of that fatigue.
Yeah, that could be, but people just don't like Charlotte. It seemed like she was surprised about that booing on Raw, but I could have called that. There is fatigue, but who else besides Charlotte would be able to carry a WrestleMania main event on that women's side to fight Trish? I mean, there's people that could fill the role, but that can draw as many eyes. It's going to be Charlotte. And I think that they want her to break her father's record at some point. So you put all those things together, it makes sense about Charlotte. But, she's earned it. But in this generation, that old being a veteran and earning it, that doesn't fly nowadays. So there is a lot of conflicting stuff with Charlotte. But she's the one that's going to bring the most eyes to WrestleMania, and that's what they want.
Yeah, it's kind of, to me, when she gets booed, it's kind of a combination of heel and fatigue. And I feel like she's got to embrace being a heel more. And, and I think I mentioned this last week, so I'm curious to hear what you say about this, Josh, is that take a move set that is more along the lines of what her dad did.
Yep.
Get nasty out there. Let's stop doing the scientific wrestling to a point and, tuck some stuff in the tights and hit some people on the head and, pull the tights, all the kind of stuff that Ricky used to do.
I wanted Io Sky to win the Royal Rumble, but unfortunately that didn't happen because I don't think that she would have drawn the eyes as much as Charlotte. Make Charlotte the dirtiest player in the game. Why not? I like the idea.
Yeah.
I'd even go one step further. Just to make it interesting, have Charlotte form her version of the Four Horsemen.
Ooh.
I mean, that was a big part of Ric Flair's success back in the 80s, was having Arn and Tully and insert, whether it's, Ole, Lex, Barry, whatever. Have Charlotte come up with her own Four Horsemen and maybe have that faction work for a little bit.
There's somebody out there who would fit that bill pretty well, wouldn't you think?
Oh, God, yes.
Of course, we're speaking of Tessa Blanchard.
Yeah, but they're not. I don't think WWE wants to gain that kind of heat.
I think they're gonna let this go play out in TNA for a while.
Yeah,
and see if they can get that all cleared up. But if you got a Charlotte Flair Tessa Blanchard match,
good God,
at WrestleMania next year, as an example, whoa!
Oh yeah.
I mean, that would be, you get the nostalgia bump from all that. I mean, whew, would be a lot of fun.
Maybe Jordan Grace is the muscle behind Charlotte this year at WrestleMania.
There's an idea. There's candidates out there. Yeah. And maybe we could get Bad Bailey back. I'd be all right with that.
Heck of a basketball player too.
Yeah, kidding.
Are you serious, Coach? Do you think she's a really good basketball player?
In that game, I watched it. She looked pretty good.
All right, fair enough. Yeah, Bailey was in the Celebrity All-Star game. So, and you're a basketball coach, so I guess I can't debate you on that. So, nice job, Bailey. All right, let's take a break.
I will say this: it was funny to have Barry Bonds and Jerry Rice as the coaches.
I didn't watch this thing, so that is, yeah.
Barry Bonds' head shrunk. He looks a little smaller. I wonder why. Barry Bonds looks like me now.
Well, you put on a helmet that's too tight. It squishes your head out a little bit. Okay. No, I'm not defending Barry Bonds at all. I'm sorry, I cannot do that. All right, let's grab a break. Before we do, I just want to remind everybody, if you could please take a second to say hi to my friend Mike Franco at Off Grid Creations. Unbelievable stuff they do, like these beautiful shirts. I mean, man, this is nice and comfy, and I feel good. I feel nice. Got a great sign back here.
You got a nice purple shirt like that, Stu?
I do not.
Yeah, wow. I mean, hey, come on, Off Grid. We'd love to match. We'd be the purple people eaters.
Well, when we'll get everybody out here or it all in. We'll figure it out. We'll see what happens with Stu's credentials. Well, we'll see what happens with my credentials at WrestleMania. But do me a favor and check it out, off-gridcreations.com. And you can see this beautiful sign right behind me. Mike did that too. You can call it 661-300-1115, 661-300-1115, 660 or 661-300-1115. I'm having a Sunday morning moment. But check it out, off-gridcreations.com. Man, you guys are coming out for WrestleMania. You're going to need T-shirts. You're going to need goofy stuff. Give them a call. You can put your logo on anything. So check it out, please, at off-gridcreations.com. All right, take a break. And when we come back, Want to talk about those PWI awards, guys? Some pretty interesting choices there. And some team people that came up a little short. I want to see what you think about how that all turned out. As one guy, well, he's got plaques aplenty to go on the wall after that was over. Stick around, everybody. We'll be right back.
With the two Jewels of Henderson, the Emerald Island Casino, and the Rainbow Club, you've got the best paying slots valley-wide, best video poker valley-wide, and the best food and service you'll find in all of Southern Nevada. Emerald Island and Rainbow Club casinos, where slot players are treated like royalty and everyone is greeted and treated like family. Great daily specials and parking is always free. Join your friends, family, and neighbors for round-the-clock fun. Think different. Think better. Think Emerald Island and Rainbow Club casinos, the jewels in downtown Henderson's historic Water Street district, where everyone's a winner.
Las Vegas, listen up. Aaron and Jacob Taylor here. The new year brings new buyers, and demand for homes is skyrocketing. We need more homes to sell. This is your chance to cash in and make 2025 your most profitable year yet. Don't wait.
We're Nevada's most trusted real estate team, and we've built 3 powerful systems to help you sell your home fast. Need cash now? We'll advance it to you, interest-free, in just 24 hours. Repairs in the way? We'll handle them all up front. Ready for an instant sale? We'll buy your house for cash in just 24 hours, as is, no repairs.
Every moment you wait is an opportunity lost. Don't be the one saying, I should have called the real estate guy sooner.
So dial 702-310-6683 right now.
Call 702-310-6683 or visit therealestateguyLV.com today. Don't just sell, win.
eXp Realty, license number 38886. Call for details.
You want to sell it fast and get the most cash. Talk to Aaron Taylor,
the real estate guy.
Dear winter, Toyota has 25 vehicles with available all-wheel drive and four-wheel drive, and that's more than any other auto brand. From winter-ready SUVs like Grand Highlander and RAV4 to sleek sedans like the Camry all-wheel drive, the Corolla Hybrid all-wheel drive, and the Svelte Crown. Not to mention rugged trucks such as Tacoma and Tundra. We're ready for winter action with solid traction. Yours, Toyota. Toyota, let's go places. Based on manufacturers' websites as of 10/20/24.
Visit your Southern Nevada Toyota dealer today. Toyota, let's go places.
Ever feel like there aren't enough hours in the day? If you get busy or miss your favorite show, don't worry. With Rewind, available exclusively on the free Odyssey app, you can stream your favorite shows on demand. You know your day is better with us. Get the news that matters to you from the local voices you trust. No matter what you're up to, give it a try. To get started, download the free Odyssey app and search for your station. That's AUDACY.
Mornings can start feeling the same. Wake up, brush teeth, go to work. But with breakfast from Wendy's, it's like, wake up, brush teeth, baconate with a breakfast baconator, roll with the sausage breakfast burrito, buddy it up with a honey buddy, or get seasoned with seasoned potatoes, and then go to work. Sorry. When you're ready for a fresh wake-up call, gotta be Wendy's.
At participating U.S. Wendy's during breakfast hours.
The county just requested more electric charging stations.
Orders have really amped up at Able Electric.
We need 3 more at First in Maine, and we just got another hotel chain.
It's no shock. Able Electric needs able electricians.
Grocery store wants charging stations too.
And fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. Put our matching platform to work so you can spend less time searching and more time connecting with talented candidates. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Texting enrolls you in a recurring automated marketing text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
The team's looking good this season.
I think so. Man, I miss playing football. Being young with unlimited energy to burn. Ever since I turned 40, I just can't find that fire I used to have.
Think it could be lower testosterone?
What do you mean?
All guys lose their edge when they turn 40. The body has less testosterone. That's why I take Nugenix Total T.
I've heard about Nugenix. That really works?
Since I started taking Nugenix, I'm lifting like when we played for Coach Carter. I feel more energized at work. It's even spiced up things between me and the missus.
Are they still giving out complimentary bottles for people to try?
Yep, send a text. It's that easy.
Text ENERGY to 42424 right now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T. It's the #1 selling testosterone boosting brand at GNC and Walmart. Do it now and they'll also send you a bottle of Nugenix Thermo X, their newest, most powerful fat burner ever, absolutely free. Text ENRGY to 42424. That's ENERGY to 42424.
These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
1015 FM KDAWN.
This is the Mark Hoke Show. The Mark Hoke Show. Here again, your host, Mark Hoke.
All right, back to the pro wrestling action here on KDAWN 101.5 FM. The talk of Las Vegas, streaming on the Odyssey app and live streaming on YouTube, Facebook, X. Very happy to have you with us for the Mark Hoke Show, best in pro wrestling news and entertainment. Stu Myrick from Sports Guys Talking Wrestling. And he does a very good job talking wrestling, that is for sure. And Josh Rosenbaum, Coach Rosey, adfreeshows.com. Of course, you can find him on X at Real Coach Rosey. So thanks for being with us, guys. Certainly do appreciate that. Wanted to hit, by the way, before we hit the PWI awards, we did have some comments in the chat box. Let's get some thoughts here because Jesse Hyde was going nuts in here. Said Jordan Grace is going to be mad at Josh Alexander for going to AEW by saying, really, just like Shinsuke responding to Okada when he went to AEW. Yeah. I think you guys still think that Josh Alexander move's a good one? If that's where he goes?
What Josh does, look, I like Josh. If he thinks AEW's place for him, then all good. What I have a problem is, look, wrestlers root for each other. And it doesn't matter what the brand. Wrestling fans get so tribal that, you know, there was the picture, which may or may not be accurate, that allegedly Rhea Ripley was in Australia watching AEW Grand Slam. Well, duh. She's married to Buddy Matthews.
Yeah.
Why is that a big deal? I have such a problem with people going nuts over these stupid things. So what? Jordan Grace, I don't think is worried about where Josh Alexander goes to wrestle. If he's going to be successful, that's what counts. Doesn't matter what 3-letter acronym is on his chest.
Yep. I would agree. I think everybody and especially with Josh being a family guy, AEW is a pretty good fit for him. Jesse had also in the chat box had Logan Paul versus Cena will be WWE's version of New Japan's Tanahashi versus Evil. Coach, you like that comment? Fair?
Not familiar with that match, but if it's for you, I'll go with it.
All right. Jesse wins. Stu, I know you're up on the Japanese wrestling.
Okay, so you're gonna. I think it's two different flavors of the same thing, but I don't know. I'm not crazy about that comparison only because I mean Logan Paul Cena would be a fun match. I mean it's let's Tanahashi, I'm sure, has faced Evil in the past. Both of them been in New Japan for quite a while. This isn't like a first time match. Okay. I mean, Tanahashi's he gets a title shot in, I don't know, a couple weeks, I think, in Tokyo at whatever the 53rd anniversary show in Tokyo. Hiroki Goto is going to give Tanahashi a title shot. So it's kind of like, not the best comparison just because Tanahashi and Evil, they've battled before.
Yep. And you did mention that Goto, by the way, who Hiroki Goto winning the IWGP World Championship. So congratulations to him as he knocks off Zack Sabre. So a long-time quest for him has been completed, winning that World Championship. There's also a comment about the Hall of Fame class, and so far it's Triple H and Michelle McCool.
Yeah,
headed into the Hall of Fame. So that's a pretty good start. Not bad, Josh.
So now I'm excited to see that Demolition finally got their pardon, and they were granted their Legends deal. So I'm looking forward to seeing them get enshrined as well. They deserve it.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Especially Barry Darsow, who's just played everybody, done everything that anyone has ever asked him to do, and done it well. So
he has had so many characters, from Crusher Darsow to Crusher Khrushchev to Repo Man to Smash to and he's played them all. That is the textbook example of someone that makes the most out of his minutes.
Yep, no doubt about that. All right, so to these PWI awards, we'll probably carry this over into the next segment too. I'm just going to run down the winners first, and then we'll kind of break it down. Cody Rhodes won 4 awards this year from PWI. 4. He is Wrestler of the Year. Woman of the Year is Toni Storm. Tag Team of the Year is Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill. Faction of the Year is the Bloodline. Match of the Year is Cody versus Roman. And I know we talked about which one we thought was going to win that battle. Feud of the Year is Punk versus McIntyre. Most popular is Cody Rhodes. Most hated is Dominic Mysterio for the second year in a row. Comeback of the Year, Liv Morgan. Most improved, Mariah May. Indie Wrestler of the Year is Mustafa Ali, who takes that crown away from Matt Cardona. Inspirational Wrestler of the Year is Cody Rhodes. Kaylani Jordan wins Rookie of the Year, and then the Stanley Weston Lifetime Achievement Award. They gave out 4 of them this year: Booker T, Mickey James, Gail Kim, and Dave Meltzer. So Coach Rosie's laughing. Oh, that's great. So let's kind of run down through these. Wrestler of the Year, it went Cody won. It was Gunther, Will Ospreay, Bryan Danielson. No problem with that one, guys, I would assume, right?
Yeah.
Nope. Perfect.
No doubt about that. Woman of the Year, that one ended up being Toni Storm. There was Liv Morgan, Rhea Ripley, and Jordan Grace. Well, what a lineup that was. Wow. But do you think Tony won? I mean, is that it's a little tight, but
I think it was because you had to give AEW a nod in a couple awards. So yeah, why not?
I like
Coach,
Tony, but it was a down year for singles female wrestlers with injuries and storylines and whatnot. So Timeless Toni Storm was pretty much the only one that was drawing significant eyes to a product when it came to the women's division. Her storyline with Mariah May going into the London show was phenomenal. The whole turn and everything. And then last night with the culmination, getting it back. And this whole storyline of her going back to Tony, I know that wasn't part of the vote, but it was a good year for Toni Storm.
Yeah, tag teams was a little blah this year, but Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill win, so a female tag team winning tag team of the year. Then went Young Bucks, Axiom and Nathan Frazier, and Judgment Day. So, do you like that one, Stu?
Yeah, I do. I mean, Young Bucks, I think I said it before on the show that I was not a fan of the whole EVP, that thing. And I really hope they come back as baby faces. Fraxium, they came along late this year. A lot of title defenses, so good on them. Judgment Day, which combination? So yeah, I'm good with Bianca and Jade.
All right. Faction of the year went to the Bloodline. Wyatt Six was second. Judgment Day, then the Death Riders. Yeah, I don't think there's any debate about that.
None. I love you, Mark.
Fair enough. Match of the year. I know we could possibly get into a fight on this one because there were a ton of great candidates. But the winner was the Cody Rhodes Roman Reigns WrestleMania match, which from a Impact standpoint, yeah, maybe from a technical standpoint, you could have picked some other ones. But I know, Stu, I think you had a couple others in mind on that. But what do you think about that?
I agree with you. I agree. Yeah, Roman and Cody at WrestleMania, of course, biggest impact, a lot of eyes, all that good stuff. If you're looking at, what happened in the ring, then I would definitely go with one of the two Bryan Danielson matches, either Swerve or Will Ospreay. That's fine. It's PWI does these things. It's kind of like preseason football polls. It's done just so people will talk about it.
Yeah. Well, that's what we're doing. So, All right. Tell you what, I got to stop right here. Let me get this break in, and we'll come back and we'll wrap that up. And we got a couple other little interesting tidbits to throw at you too from the world of pro wrestling, including Tony Khan put somebody on the payroll for a year, and they didn't do a darn thing. But very symbolic gesture, to say the least. Stick around, everybody. We got a whole lot more on the Mark Hoke Show. I'll try not to crack my voice anymore. Stu Myrick, Josh Rosenbaum with me. We'll be right back.
Centennial Toyota says keep your presidents in your pocket all month long. Why wait for President's Day when Las Vegas's largest indoor showroom, Centennial Toyota, says keep your presidents in your pocket. Choose from over 700 Camrys, Corollas, Tundras, Tacomas, and more, all with a presidential special. Sign and drive leases. That's right. Put no money down on a new 2025 Toyota Tacoma and pay just $399 per month. Plus, we're paying top dollar for trades, and we're paying for your registration. Sign and drive and save your presidents all month long at Centennial Toyota, conveniently located in Centennial Center, or visit centennialtoyota.com, where it's fun to buy a car.
Select models approved. Credit includes all rebates, excludes tax, title license, $499 dealer doc fee, Tacoma 7540, 36 month lease, 0 due, 0 security, 12,000 annual miles, 15 cents per mile thereafter, ends 228.
Why pay more for prescriptions? Stop overpaying and start saving with SingleCare. It's easy. Find your prescription on singlecare.com, show the coupon at the pharmacy, and start saving. SingleCare works at pharmacies nationwide and is completely free to use, whether you have insurance or not. So the next time you fill a prescription, check SingleCare to make sure you're getting the best price. Take control of your prescription costs. Go to singlecare.com or download the free app today.
Seems everything costs more these days. Gas, groceries, and when's the last time you checked your wireless bill? Yikes. When it comes to big wireless, if you're staying, you may be overpaying. Here's how to get the same fast, reliable nationwide coverage without the big wireless bill. Switch to Consumer Cellular. Plans start at just $20 a month, and that's not a short-term promo. Our US-based experts will get you switched and saving in about 20 minutes. Call 1-888-FREEDOM, visit consumercellular.com or a store near you, and start saving today. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing.
1 in 4 Americans have a disability. I'm one of them. I'm also a working mom who cares deeply about making sure every child with a disability thrives by getting their access needs met. We've got a trusted ally by our side. Easter Seals provides children and families the foundation for lifelong success through early learning programs, skills training, and prep for college and career. That's my Easter Seals. Make it yours. Join us at easterseals.com.
Empower. Tim collects bobbleheads. A lot of bobbleheads. Baseball bobbleheads. Race car bobbleheads. Little chihuahua bobbleheads. He's got an entire room strictly for bobbleheads. Does he need them? No. Is his wife mad about it? A little. But Tim works with Empower, and he got good at money, so he can be a little bad. Ooh, horse bobblehead. Classy, Tim. Empower. Invest well, live a little. Start today at empower.com.
1015 FM KDAWN.
You're listening to the #1 professional wrestling radio show in Vegas, The Mark Hoke Show. The Mark Hoke Show. Now, here again is Mark Hoke.
Yeah, you got me one more time here on The Mark Hoke Show. Best of pro wrestling news and entertainment in Vegas and around the planet. Because I get the best, coolest people on my show. And I can't wait for all the guests to come rolling in for WrestleMania. It's going to be wild. But Stu Myrick, Josh Rosenbaum on the show with me here. We were breaking down the Pro Wrestling Illustrated awards for this year. And if you'll bear with me, because for some reason I screwed up on my laptop. There we go. All right. Feud of the year. And I think there's a legit fight on this one, guys.
I got one.
CM Punk, Drew McIntyre were the winners, and then it went Hangman Adam Page and Swerve Strickland, Liv Morgan, Rhea Ripley, and Timeless Toni Storm and Mariah May. All very good. And, you know, the Punk one was okay, but I just still can't get over they were fighting over a bracelet. I can't do it. I vote Page
Me too.
Me
When
too.
you burn down someone's house, that's a feud.
Yeah.
Yes.
When you syringe somebody, that's a feud. When you hang somebody over the top rope with a chain, that's a feud. To me, Hangman and Swerve were the feud of the year.
I couldn't agree more.
Yeah. Nothing against Punk and McIntyre. I think there's just, sometimes, a couple of years ago, AEW was just absolutely rolling on these awards, and now WWE had a pretty big year, and I think that may have hurt a little bit. Most popular wrestler of the year, well, it's Cody Rhodes. He wins it for back-to-back years, his second win on that. I don't know if you can really fight that one either. That's pretty straightforward. But it went Cody, Jey Uso, Joe Hendry, and Rhea Ripley. So, yeah, that was pretty straight up.
Yeah,
good
but
on Joe Hendry.
Joe Hendry, if he was, I'd still sing that song in my head every single day. To me, he was the most popular wrestler. Maybe because he was in TNA, obviously because he was in TNA, he didn't have as many eyes on him. But who had the most amount of views when he popped up on NXT that night?
Mm-hmm.
Who was the one when he came out for the Royal Rumble, got one of the biggest pops? Yeah. I believe in Joe Hendry.
All right.
Joe Hendry.
I do believe in Joe Hendry. I think Cody's still a little more popular than Joe. But that may change. Most hated wrestler of the year. I don't think there was any surprise on this. Was Dominic Mysterio. Goes back-to-back winning for the second year in a row. Then it went Solo Sikoa, MJF, and Logan Paul. Yeah, Dominic's the most hated person in pro wrestling right now. He's getting chased a little bit.
He's getting chased by the New Day.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know why Hangman didn't have a nomination in that fight, because he was... I hated him this year. I loved his character, but when I got into my fan mode, I hated that asshole.
Stu, what do you have to say about that?
The Hangman thing, I don't think he was as hated as some people may think, as far as the fans go.
Right.
Because you still heard Cowboy, the Cowboy chants. So I'm okay with that list. I think that list is fine.
Yeah, while he was being very, very bad, people dug it. They dug it, man. You remember seeing when the house went up in flames. People thought that was mean, but it was pretty cool. So he's one of those anti-hero guys. Comeback of the year was Liv Morgan, followed by Mercedes Moné, Randy Orton, and The Rock. The Rock. All right.
Okay, I don't get this one, because I recall comeback of the year was you're coming back from injury or something. Like, I remember, again, this is dating myself. I remember Mike Von Erich getting this award when they tried to have him come back from his the bout with toxic shock syndrome back in the late 80s. Why? What are any of those four coming back from?
Oh, I think Liv did get hurt, but yeah, Mercedes just being away. I think that was part of hers. Randy would have been injury, but The Rock, The Rock was just kind of.
Why is The Rock in there?
Because people voted for him. I don't know why. Yeah, we're questioning the minds of wrestling fans, Stu. You should know this. You should know this. Most improved wrestler of the year was Mariah May, then Nia Jax, Obafemi, Maxine Dupree, and I kind of would have gone Nia there if I was really thinking about it. But Mariah was pretty good.
I'm good with Mariah. Actually, I think Nia Jax could have been knocked down a notch or two.
Oh, yeah. All right.
She's improved, but I think there are some that were more improved than her.
Mariah May started from the bottom and ascended very quickly to the top.
Yeah.
And if that's the definition of a newcomer of the year, in my opinion.
We had the Indie Wrestler of the Year. Matt Cardona is dethroned after 2 straight years by Mustafa Ali. Cardona was runner-up, and then it was Lance Warner and Ali Catch. I have no problem with Mustafa getting Indie Wrestler of the Year, but still, Cardona kind of dominates the road.
Not in my opinion. I would have given it to Mance Warner. Him and Effie had one of the greatest storylines last year, and Mance was a great world champion for GCW. I would have given it to Old Manser. And he's got a hell of a fight tonight against Gabe Kidd. The Jersey Cup. I'll be tuning in for that because that's going to be, as the young kids say, a banger.
What about Effie?
Yeah.
Why isn't Effie on this list?
Maybe he might be next year when they vote.
I mean, Mustafa Ali, great talent, but if I'm thinking independent wrestler, I'm thinking Effie, not him.
All right, that's legit. Inspirational wrestler of the year was Cody Rhodes, Bryan Danielson, Sami Zayn, Jeff Jarrett were the runners up on that one. So there you go. Probably no problem with Cody being the inspirational one. Rookie of the year goes to Kaylani Jordan. Then it was Jada Parker, Carmen Petrovic, and Oleg Bolton. You kind of had a little bit of a toss up there, but I can see why Kaylani won.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got. I mean, those the three from NXT. I think that could go any order, but that's fine. Interesting, they put in Oleg Bolton from New Japan.
Yeah, New Japan got no love this year whatsoever. So that's how that goes. But
it's a cold product right now. That means simple as that.
Well, you could be right. So that's the Pro Wrestling Illustrated Awards. And always a great subject of discussion, and they've been going on forever. So you can always check those lists out. And PWI does a terrific job taking care of that. Now, I wanted to hit this story because I thought it was very interesting that this popped up. The name Rita Chatterton, if it is not familiar to those of you in more casual fans, Rita Chatterton was a ref that worked for WWE. She was their first female referee. And in 1992, she accused Vince McMahon of raping her in the back of a limousine in 1986 in exchange for Vince wanted what he wanted, allegedly. And he offered her a $500,000 contract, but she refused. So they had a multi-million-dollar settlement in 2022. But this is it's funny though, that for some reason, Tony Khan had reached out to her and put her under contract for $500,000 for a year. For nothing. They said she was a talent scout. She didn't do anything. But apparently Tony felt bad for her after everything that had happened and tried to help her out. So, what do you think about that story, Stu? That's pretty interesting.
For all the criticisms that Tony Khan gets for booking and such, and several of them are quite warranted, I will vouch for that. Tony Khan is a good person. He is. He's kind. Every interaction I've ever had with him, he's just, he appreciates the media. He appreciates us. So, knowing what little I know of Tony, this actually kind of doesn't surprise me, but it shows, he wanted to do something for someone that had been wronged, and this was a good way to do it.
Yeah, Coach, what'd you think of it? Real quick, we got about 30
Tony's
seconds.
a great man. Tony's the main reason why my son got hired for all this nonprofit stuff with Culture City. So him being at the Super Bowl, him being at the NBA All-Star game, that's only because of Tony Khan. I'll tell you guys about that off air. He's a great man.
Yeah. So cool story there. Everybody likes to bang on Tony, but he does. People like working for the guy for the most part. So there you go. And that is going to do it for us here on the Mark Hoke Show for this week. I want to thank you for joining us, whether you were watching us on the live stream or on the Odyssey app or 101.5 FM KDAWN, driving around the city, which I'll be doing very shortly. But I want to thank, of course, Phil Stamper was on earlier, Stu Myrick from Sports Guys Talking Wrestling. Yeah, hook 'em horns. But how about them Cowboys? At Stu Myrick, STEWMYRICK, sorry. And Coach Rosey at Real Coach Rosey. You can check out everything going on at ad-free shows. Gentlemen, thanks for joining us. Appreciate it.
Have a good week, guys.
All right, guys. We'll see you next week on the Mark Hoke Show. Follow us on X at Mark Hoke Show, Facebook, the Mark Hoke Show, YouTube, subscribe there at the Mark Hoke Show as well. We'll see you next week for the best in pro wrestling on KDAWN. Have a great day, Las Vegas. Want more of The Mark Hoke Show? Follow us on Twitter at Mark Hoke Show, like us on Facebook at The Mark Hoke Show, and visit markhokeshow.com to keep up with everything happening with the show. And remember to check out all of our archive shows on YouTube at The Mark Hoke Show and download our podcasts at markhokeshow.podbean.com and all your favorite podcast outlets. So join The Mark Hoke Show family today, and thanks for listening.